2024/2025 bride, please come forward. This video is for you. And wait, before you start rushing in, I am not talking about you who your role model is Vicky James and you want your wedding to match that of Vicky James. Biko, if that is the kind of bride you are, pack your bag and go. This video will not help you. I'm not talking about you also, that your wedding you want to impress the people that don't know anything about you, the people that don't care about you, people that did not send you anything. If those are the people you want to impress, people leave. This video is actually enough. And if you are a Vicky James kind of bride, just go and start keeping your 2 billion naira. It might or might not even be enough. Anyways, the people that I am talking to, I mean my target audience, are those brides, those ladies that have observed that nobody really cares about your wedding. All people care about is they want to come, see you, snap picture with you, eat your food, drink your drink, dance, and then they go. I'm talking to those my bride that knows that why they want to do these weddings is because they just want people to know that they are married, because that is why people opt for the court marriage thing. They just do their bride price, just pay their bride price, they go to court, they get legally married, and that's it. But if you do it that way, it will be on a more low-key and much people would not know that you actually did your wedding. But if you will just host a kind of get-together kind of thing, people will actually know that, oh, she's married. So that is just the aim. Well, in today's video, I am going to be telling you guys how I spent less than 700 naira. You heard me right. Less than 700 Nigerian naira on my wedding. Disclaimer, just before I go further, I just want you to know that that 700 naira is just for the vendors I used. It did not include the food, actually. Yes. And also it is not both for the traditional in the village and the white wedding. No, it is just for the white wedding. So without further ado, let's get right to the video. So the first thing I want you to know is that there are things, I actually made a list of notes. There are things that you can compromise and there are things that you should never ever compromise, and I'm going to be sharing that with you today. And I want to also commend my husband a lot. I got married to the best man on the earth. I am saying he's the best man because before our wedding I asked him and he told me the budget he has for the wedding. And in fact, he gave me the money. So I was the manager of our wedding money. So because I was the manager of the money, because I knew the amount we had to spend, like the amount we have to spend for that wedding, I knew it. I actually cut my coat according to my size. If you observe in weddings, the guy can be okay with just wearing maybe one shoe for the whole day. But the ladies, they will not want to wear. They want to wear one shoe to church, one shoe for the reception, one shoe for their second outfit, one shoe, like they would want to, if you give them the chance and the opportunity, they can wear as much shoes. And if you give them the chance and opportunity to, they can wear as much clothes as possible. So because I was the engineer, I was the architect of that money, I knew what we had. I just cut my coat according to what was involved. So one thing I would recommend is that if you are getting married, if you are a guy that is getting married, make sure your wife to be knows the amount you people have for that wedding. Because if she doesn't know, she's going to be demanding things like, I want a 2.3 million naira gown, I want a this, I want a that. But if she knows that, oh, it is only 100k I have or we have for this wedding, she's going to know that she's supposed to wear a gown of 20,000 naira, and that is it. So if you're also planning your wedding with your fiancé, make sure he tries to tell you what the amount he has. I know this can be a little bit weird because most guys, they do not like to talk about their finances with their lady. That's I don't know. But for me, it was not the case. I knew, in fact, I knew everything, front, back, center. I knew how much my guy had and I knew how much he was willing to spend, and I was very comfortable with it because what's the point? So we are going to moving over to the things that you can compromise and the things that you cannot compromise. We're going to be starting from the things that you should never compromise as a newly to-be couple. The first thing I have on my list is your dress. As a bride-to-be, you should not compromise your wedding dress. You see, your wedding dress, your your reception dress, everything that has to do with the clothes you're going to be wearing, you should not compromise it, because you should look 100% beautiful. Remember that people are going to be taking pictures of you, both aware, both unaware, both the one that you know, the one you don't know, the one they seek your consent, the one that you did not give consent. So they can capture you in a very weird manner. And if you're not wearing something that is not fine, double wahala for you. So that brings me to my wedding dress. For my wedding dress, I did a very simple, sophisticated, perfect. I wore what I wanted, and I was very comfortable with what I wanted. So for my wedding dress, actually, most brides that have done their wedding will tell you that you should opt for the option of rentals. That renting is way easier and cheaper than you buying. But I will tell you, it is a lie. When I was hunting for my wedding gown, the gowns I was seeing, the ball gowns, that was not what I liked. They were telling me it was for 80 to 150. So if I wanted to rent a ball gown that it is not what I want, I would be able to spend 80 to 150 for that gown that I would wear and I would return. Now, when I managed to scout and search everywhere on the internet, I was able to see one that I really loved, but she was in Port Harcourt. And because I loved that gown was not a ball gown. She told me that gown, she rents that gown for 300,000 naira. But if I want, she can reduce 50k. So I am supposed to pay 250,000 naira for a renting gown. I sat down and I checked it. Now, it is not like the 250 was too much for a wedding dress. It was perfect because that gown was nice. It was nice. It was what I've always dreamed to wear on my wedding day. But I sat down and I said, I am going to rent a gown for 250. What if I go and buy this thing? And luckily enough for me, that was the period my mom and my sister actually traveled to Lagos. So I said, what if I send my mom money to buy this material for me? I'll end up spending at least a reasonable amount to buy it, and I'll go and give it to a nice tailor that will sew it, because I was not even planning to sew a ball gown, which makes it easy. Any tailor can actually sew that gown. I'll just go and sew it and it will come out fine. I'll wear it that day and I'll be looking very beautiful. I said, okay, madam, I'll get back to you. That is how I flew, my brothers and sisters. So I didn't actually use her again. I gave my mom money, and the material they bought for me was actually very nice. They got 4 yards of that material and I got it for 20,000 naira. And it was now time for me to look for a tailor that was going to sew it. Sewing it, remember, when you tell a tailor that you want to sew a wedding gown, they will skyrocket the price. I'm going to tell you a trick I used that actually worked. I met the first tailor. I told her I wanted to sew a wedding gown. It was my wedding, this, that. This is the style I want. And she took everything, she analyzed everything, and she told me the bill, and she told me that it was 200,000 naira. I was like, 200,000 naira. You're not adding anything, like you're not adding any ball, nothing. It's just a normal gown. So I said, okay, I've learned my lesson. So I went to another place, and this time around, I did not tell her I want to sew a wedding gown. I told her, this is where the trick comes in actually. I told her that I'm a content creator, so I want to shoot a kind of movie with some people, and we are supposed to pretend like it is our marriage. So I am the bride, so I want her to sew something that I can wear for that content. I want it to be exactly the way a bride's outfit will be. And that was how I sewed my dress. Ask me how much. I sold that dress for only 35,000 naira. 35 plus 20 makes it 55,000 naira. So she did both the dress and the bead for that 35,000 naira, and it came out so beautiful, so nice. So my ladies, you see that I was able to spend for my wedding dress, this beautiful dress you're seeing now, I was able to spend only 55,000 naira, both for the clothes and the veil. And the veil, she had to bead it, every other thing. It was beautiful, and I did not break the bank. I did not do this. It is my own gown. Like I did not rent it. Now I have a choice of either keeping it or giving it out to somebody that also wants to get married but doesn't have maybe too much money. So if you know you want to rent, fine, but renting these days is so expensive, and you might not even get what you're looking for. So if you can, go to the market, pick your fabric, go to a tailor, use this scope I used on them, because if you tell them you're a bride, they're gonna flog you. So don't tell them anything, just tell them you want to do something for somebody, and then they will reduce the price, and that is it. So invest in your looks. And for my wedding, I wore 2 outfits, one repping the Akwa Ibom culture and the other repping the Igbo culture. It was also slashed, like everything was just slashed. Like I used the same method to sew the red Igbo culture one, and I sewed that dress for 25,000 naira. Who does that? Who is so corset and still puts everything that you're supposed to sew for 25,000 naira? My tailor did. So use this scope, and that was how I was able to sew. And for my bouquet, I didn't want to buy because there was nothing I was going to do with that bouquet after the whole event. So I went for the rental option, and I rented that bouquet for 10,000 naira only. If you have the choice to make, please go for rental, because rentals is going to save you a lot of money. And then for my bridal robe, I rented that one also for 5,000 naira. It was very easy. I don't even know how. I saw these people on Instagram, so I just used them, and they were in Uyo, so I used them, and it worked out for me. So that is all for my bridal look. The next thing you shouldn't compromise is your DJ. Your DJ is one thing that makes the party either lively or dull. You don't want to get a DJ that you'll be telling, play this song now, what kind of song, or you'll be dancing and then the DJ will be the song will first stop before another one will play. You don't want such situation. DJ is the life of the party. Like the DJ is the life of the party. The DJ is the one that is going to make or break your event. So you want to make sure that you have a very nice somebody that is well trusted and that knows his job. So DJ, please do not compromise. And for me, I got my DJ for 100,000 naira, and it was because I knew him and a friend of mine referred him to me. So I paid him 100,000 naira, and he delivered over. The next thing you shouldn't compromise is the decoration. I don't know, the decoration is supposed to be after the dress. The decoration is like the first thing everybody sees when they come to your event, and the decoration is going to make that place look very beautiful and nice for everybody. So invest in your decoration if you can. For my decoration, I paid 200,000 naira, and of course somebody referred me to her. A known friend referred me to her, so I don't know if she slashed the price because of me, but I paid her 200,000 naira. But that decoration you saw was not the decoration I wanted. The decoration I wanted was very goddamn fine, but on that day we were still in church, and she was that when we were in church was when she started the decoration process. So there was no way, I knew that there was no way this girl was going to finish this decoration thing. I actually expressed my anger to her, and I don't know if she's going to be watching this video. I just want you to know that I am not happy with your decoration. I have already told you. But then her decorations are always very good. She's a very, like, she can do her job. That was why I used that. The decoration she's been doing for other people have been coming out so perfect. But on my own wedding day, you did not finish. She did not finish decoration. That decoration you saw was half done. So had it been she did it completely, it would have been perfect. It would have been my dream decoration, but she didn't do it, and that's fine. We don't do and we don't pass. But please invest in your decoration, because it is going to make your wedding very lively, very nice, and very cozy. Another thing you should invest in is your MC. Your MC is one person that can also break or make your big day. So you should invest in a very good MC. Very good does not mean that the person has to be excessively expensive. You can get a very nice somebody that can do the job, because trust me, there are people that can do this job that will take 1 million naira, especially for that decoration thing. There are people that will do a very nice job for 1 million naira, and there are people that can also do the same nice job for quarter of the price. So make sure you search very well, make your inquiries, and make sure you are using the most efficient one, the one that is going to be affordable and still classy. So for my DJ, for my MC, I paid him 40,000 naira, and that was it for that. He's my friend actually, and he was more like my event planner. So most of the vendors I'm calling now, almost in fact all of the vendors, he plugged me to them. So they actually gave him a discount, and he also told me about it, because he told them his sister was getting married, so they assumed that I was a sister, so they were splashing the price. So it might not be the same for you, but look for someone that is cheaper.
Another thing that you would eliminate, especially if you are on a budget, is event planner. An event planner is actually very necessary. Don't get me wrong. If you have the money, you can go for them. But you should know that you'll be spending about, I don't know, 200 to 300 or even more. So if you are really on a budget and you have enough time, because it is actually time that makes bride opt for the option of using an event planner. So if you have all the time in the world and you have what, like, you know what you want, you have your taste, you can actually plan your wedding yourself. That way, the money you're supposed to give to the event planner, you use it to settle another kind of expenses. So I planned my wedding myself. I didn't use an event planner just because I had my mom there, my sister was there, my mother-in-law was there. Like, many people were there to help out. So I just felt like event planner is actually not necessary because I'm going to save my money and I'm going to use it for another thing. So event planner is one thing you should eliminate. Another thing you should actually think of doing if you are thinking of how to economize your funds is hosting a two-in-one event. So just like myself, I did my traditional marriage in the village, the traditional rites proper in the village. It was just small, it was intimate, just my family, his family, and few villagers. But then other villagers that were not invited will come, of course, which they came and then they ate. So I did it just in the parlor. It was nothing loud, but there were canopy outside actually and chairs for villagers to sit down if they wanted. But there was no disco, there was no decoration, nothing of such. So I did my white wedding in town, and then in the morning, I did the white wedding where I wore my wedding gown to church. While in the reception, I now did it like a traditional marriage. Like, I did a traditional themed reception. So if you want, you can just do it like me, or if you don't want, you can do your traditional marriage in the village. Like, as you are paying your bride price, you can just, what that is actually the traditional marriage, provided you're going to wear your beautiful clothes, your husband is going to also dress fine, you guys are going to snap picture. That is a traditional marriage. So if you want now your reception, you can just do a reception, like a normal white wedding reception. So you can either do a traditional themed reception to represent or to replace what you didn't do in the village, or you can just eliminate that option totally and just do the white wedding reception. Just wear your normal sexy gown and do your party, and everything dies. Everybody, life goes on.
The next thing you should not compromise at all is your videographer and your photographer. You see those two people, they are too important. Remember, after the whole party is over, it is the pictures and videos that were taken on your wedding day that is going to keep the memories alive. And when people come to your house to visit you, it is the pictures and videos that was taken on your wedding day that is going to actually make them know or feel. If they were not present, they will actually feel the present, like they will feel as if they were present. So you need to make sure that you are investing well on this one, and you need to use people that are trusted. You don't want to use somebody that is going to over brighten your pictures and your videos and you'll be very angry. For this one, my mother plugged me to him and his price was way cheaper, because I have searched and all the people that I was getting were telling me 500, 600, 700. If you want to use a drone, that becomes even way expensive. But for him, he just gave me giveaway. I don't know where he was doing his, I don't know if he was doing his birthday or something. He charged me 220,000 naira, both for pictures, both for videos, and for drone coverage, or drone for drone coverage. He actually charged me 250,000 naira, and I was so wowed. That is it. That is one thing you should not compromise. Another thing you should not compromise, another thing you should not compromise is actually your cake. Cake is a little bit here and a little bit there. Well, if you are a cake person, it depends on how big you want your cake to be or how small you want your cake to be. Anyhow, you can just think of it. Because my cake, I did it last minute because I was really thinking, do I really want a cake? Should I just leave this cake? It was just last minute, and my auntie was actually the one that helped me in baking that cake, and she charged me 50,000 naira for that beautiful cake you saw. So if you want something more bigger, you can get it for a more bigger price. If you want something smaller, you can get it for a more smaller price. Just cut your coat according to your size. You are not trying to impress anybody. Another thing, now coming to the things that you can compromise, things that are not so necessary. The first one I have in my list is the hype men. For my wedding, I had 2 hype men, and I had 2 hype men because one was more like an Akwa Ibom hype man, the other one was a pure Igbo hype man. So I wanted, when my husband and his groomsmen were coming out, the Igbo hype man is actually going to hype them, and they are going to feel as if they are in Imo State. So that was why I had 2 hype men. But in your own case, you might not really need an hype man. If you know you want an hype man, then go for it. If you know you don't want, it is not important, it is not necessary. And those 2 hype men, my guy, the MC, was able to talk to them, and they collected 30,000 naira each. And that was how I paid 60,000 naira for these 2 hype men. And you know, the MC works with them. Like, you know, these people, they have a group. The MC can know the DJ and know they are all working together. So that was why it was quite cheap for me. Another thing that you can compromise is actually the drummer. So in my wedding, when the DJ was playing, the drummer was knocking all this this piano thing. That was actually what I wanted. Although the drummer and the hype man didn't sit well with my husband, because he was like, these things are not necessary. They are really not necessary actually, but I wanted them because I know that they are going to add more vibes to the music. So for the drummer man, I was able to pay only 10,000 naira. Again, it is because of the influence of my MC that talks to all of them. Another thing you can actually compromise, this one is not really important, is the dancers or entertainers. So in my wedding, you will notice that I had traditional dancers. Because it was a traditional wedding, I wanted a traditional dance. They are called a combi. So I hired them, and they did not come alone. The dancers came with their drummer, because the drummers have to come to support the dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, bring out your phones and capture this wonderful and exciting moment that Charles and Ikemini is showing to us here at this wonderful reception. Like I said before, the Ekombi dance was introduced by the popular culture of Ekpe. For people that do not understand me, Ekpe means lion. Ekpe means, of course, you can say tiger too. You can see that when a lion is moving back and forth in beauty and in styles, this is what these people are showing to us here at the wedding reception. I agree with you, or you can agree with me, that you're enjoying this beautiful dance by these wonderful dancers. And of course, the drummers are not left out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, you can see.
Although the dancers can actually dance to DJ music, but it is more cultural when they are drumming. So for that package, the drum and the dancers, I paid a total of 55,000 naira, and it was very cheap. Actually, the leader of the dance crew knows my mom, and she's a member of my church, so we are just like family. So she just gave a discount, and then we paid 55,000 naira. So a total of what I spent for all those things was only 680,000 naira. You self check out now. You self check them. It was actually very way. In fact, this is the smallest amount I have heard somebody spending in a wedding, considering the fact that you know how things are very expensive and how everything is going south. So please, brides of 2024/2025, make sure you are helping your husband economize that money. Remember, nobody cares about you. After this whole process, it is just my mom and his mom, like my husband's mom, that have been calling me after the whole wedding. And even when my mom calls me, she's not asking me, have you eaten? Did you eat? Are you okay? She's asking me, how are you? How is your husband? Okay, are you going to work? Did you go to work? That's just what he's asking me. Then the other people that attended that event on that day, they are not even calling me. They've come to do what they want to do, eat what they want to eat, dance, snap pictures, and they've gone. Nobody cares. The only person that is going to care about you is probably your parents. And even at that, they're not even going to ask you, have you eaten? Because they just assume that you should be fine. You should be fine. So make sure you're not breaking the bank because of satisfaction. Like you want to satisfy this person. You want it to be the talk of town. You want to emulate Vicky who? You want to do this, you want to do that. You're just going to, especially, I'm not saying if you have the money, you cannot do it. If you have the money and you feel you want to do it, please go ahead. We love it. We love it. But don't go and drain your husband because you want to be selfish. That's just it. That is why I so much like the real worry picking, the lady. I'm going to be putting a picture here for some people that don't know her. She got married a very long time ago, and as at the time when she got married, I don't think they were very rich, so they did a very small and minimal what is it called, wedding. But a few years later, they've gathered all the money they've gathered. She has money, her husband too has money, and they redid the wedding in form of anniversary, and she did her dream wedding, wore her dream wedding gown, and everything was perfect. So that is it. This economy is not the economy that you can be doing all those kind of things. If you know you have the money, splash it, spend it, burn it. But if you know you have a budget that you want to work with, then just be more considerate. And then when that time comes when you people will have a lot of money, you people will do it. So that's it, guys. Hope this video was helpful. All the things I'm trying to say, all my points is that don't suffocate yourself because you want to impress people that don't care about you. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in my next one. Bye.